What is going on, guys? Welcome to this live class. Today, I just wanted to do an Ask Me Anything class, mix it up a little bit. We have been doing quite a lot of the phrasal verb classes recently, so I thought I would change it up. I'm down at my parents' place, so I hope you guys are all going well. This is Ocean Grove. I'll even show you outside. Check this out. So this is my parents' place. It's probably a bit bright, but you know, they've got a really nice garden with lots of plants. How are you guys all going? Can you hear me okay? And today's just an Ask Me Anything. So if you guys have questions regarding English, how are you going, Hanif, Makram, Lima? What's going on, guys? How have you been? How's your week going? Do you have any questions for me? Anything I can answer? What have you been finding difficult in English the last few weeks? How are you all going? What's the gossip? What's the goss? Yeah, it is. It is. Wow, Makram, it's been raining a lot. It was actually really nice last week, but I think 3 days ago it started raining like crazy, pissing down rain. It was bucketing down, raining cats and dogs. It was going nuts, but it's a lot nicer now, thankfully. What happens to day lesson? What do you mean by day lesson, Lima? What do you mean by day lesson? So what are you guys up to tonight or today? And whereabouts are you guys listening from? Because I'd love to chat to you. This is an Ask Me Anything class, guys. You can ask me any question you would like. Feel free. Go to town. Go to town. Hey, Reno, Aiken, Rocio. My niece is good. So my sister just had a baby girl. She's had a beautiful baby girl called Isabel, and she's very small. She's about this big, I think 3.5 kilos, and it's going well. So my sister's just getting used to having, a baby around at all times, and breastfeeding. So having to, have the baby here for several times a day for 40 minutes and waking up all the time. The baby's doing well, though. It's sleeping well. Yeah, we went around there earlier today and she was asleep. So I'm still yet to see the baby when the baby is upset and crying. So it's not too bad. It's not too bad. That's it. You did, except for Smisson. My surname is spelt like this. That's the surname. And the surname originally comes from Smith's son. So son of Smith. And it got turned into Smithson, which is too hard to say. So we turned it into Smithson, like that, at least, in the last 100 years. So what else have we got here? When are you coming to say g'day to the Gold Coast? I know, well, my girlfriend's from Queensland, so we might be going up past the Gold Coast in the next few months. We'll see what happens. The phrasal verb lessons, Lima. I'm just doing an Ask Me Anything because I haven't had a chance this week to organize the next lesson, and I'm down with my parents, with my girlfriend, introducing her to the family. So just been a bit busy, but there'll be another one soon. Next week I'll aim to do the next episode. Nice to see you too, Eliana. How are you going? Hanif, what's fellas? Do you know how to use fellas? The expression fellas in a sentence? So a fella is a man or a bloke, and you can use that like, do you know this bloke, man or fella, for example. So you can use it as a synonym for man, for bloke, or for fella. Let me know when you're coming up. Yeah, that'd be great, Nuno. That'd be great. I'll definitely keep you posted. I would love to do more, travel around Australia and be able to show you guys different parts of Australia and everything. So it'd be great. By the way, I haven't got notifications when you reply to the comments in the classroom. Can you enable notifications for them? Yeah, that's it, Aiken. I'm not sure. So I'm still learning how to use the classroom comment system. I have replied to quite a few of your comments, specifically your comments, but I'm not sure how the notifications will work. So it's a good question. I'll go and check it out. Hey, Pete, can you talk a bit about your plans for Aussie English next year? All right, so Rocio wants me to chat about next year's Aussie English plans. Sorry, I'm scratching my nose a lot because I'm allergic to cats, and my parents have two cats now, and so I'm constantly like having to eat antihistamine tablets, but the cats always make me sneeze, and it's crazy. Anyway, sorry. Rocio wants to know what the plans are for Aussie English next year. So the basic thing is going to be working on the Aussie English Classroom. So that's the online website for students to enroll in, and you guys get courses. You'll all know I talk about this way too often, but the main thing is going to be trying to improve the Aussie English Classroom, and the goal for that is mainly just to be the one-stop shop. That's a good expression for you. One-stop shop. It's like the one place for everything you want. Okay, one-stop shop for Aussie English and for English. So I really just want to have it as one website where you guys can go and learn everything with regards to English, but in the context of Australian English, obviously. So I'll be developing that, trying to improve that. Obviously also playing with the podcast and trying to improve the podcast. And then I'm also thinking about releasing an Aussie English magazine. So I haven't actually mentioned that, I don't think, to you guys before, but the basic idea with that would be that it's going to be like a digital magazine where you would get, say, interviews. So what's an example? So this, for example, this is a magazine, a physical magazine, not a digital one, where you get, nice pictures and articles here that you can read about different things. And I would love to create this, except on this, or on the computer, where I can interview people, or I can get guest writers, authors, different people from all over Australia to contribute articles for you guys to read, to consume. But with the one catch that they have to have either a video like this where you can hear them, or the audio so that you can listen, you can plug this into your headphones, and whilst you read the magazine, you read the article here, you can hear them saying the words that you're reading at the same time. So I'm thinking about how to do that and whether you guys would be interested in that kind of thing. So that might be, a few dollars a month or something, and you'd get a digital magazine once a month with maybe 5 articles about Australian nature, Australian culture, maybe an interview with another Aussie, maybe even interviews with foreigners who've come to Australia and what their experiences have been like. But the basic thing for me and Aussie English is to try and come up with ideas for how to help you guys learn English as successfully as possible, and specifically Australian English, obviously. So that's the idea. So that's what I've been playing with. The Aussie English Classroom, the Aussie English podcast, and then hopefully the Aussie English magazine. So we'll see how that goes, but I'll definitely keep you guys posted. I'll let you know, to keep you posted, to let you know all the information with that. But yeah, the classroom's going really, really well. I'm so happy to see all of you guys in there. You're working away like crazy. I see all of you working away and you're earning points and badges and climbing the leaderboard. That's really encouraging, and I'm so, so, so happy to see you guys having fun in there. But that's the basic idea for Aussie English next year. I think also I would love to travel more. So I would love to show you more of Australia in videos. I think you might have seen some of the Traveling with Pete videos that I put up on YouTube, and I would definitely love to do more of that. And especially with my girlfriend, Kel. So she lives currently in Townsville. So if you imagine, this is Australia, right? You've got the map of Australia like this. I'm down here, and Kel lives up here. So we're going to have to travel up and down at least for the next few months. And I might try and do some of that stuff where I create videos and show you more of Australia and interview people from these places. So that's the basic idea. We'll see what happens. But as always too, give me your feedback. If you have suggestions, if you have ideas, I would love to hear your opinions, okay? And I guess also, I'm trying to come up with a way of doing more related to IELTS. as well. So once Aussie English starts making a bit more money and I can start hiring people or paying teachers to be more involved in Aussie English, I would love to do more stuff related to IELTS, whether it's giving you tasks to do or even just interviews about how you should try and prepare. But I'll do my best to try and cover more about IELTS, okay, or those English tests. So let me get into some more. Farima, how are you going, Farima? Missed your lessons a few weeks ago. Should catch up soon. I'm preparing for the PTE. Yeah, that'll be it. I hope the PTE lessons or the PTE preparation goes really well. Good luck with that. Waleska, how are you going? So do you have any material or videos to help with IELTS or the TOEFL? Not yet. See, that's the thing. I haven't looked into, tried to learn more about the specifics of these tests. So I haven't created anything yet, but I would love to. I know that a lot of you guys are trying to improve your score on the IELTS and try to learn how to pass this test. So I know that I need to do more in that area, but one thing at a time. So that's the aim though. That's the aim. I would love to definitely help you guys more with the IELTS in the future. Ruchi, how are you going? What else have we got here? We will help you develop the classroom. Thank you, Aiken. That's awesome. Transcript and audio. How are you, Tabo? Thanks for coming, mate. Isabel, how are you? Pui, how are you? Sorosha, that's a great idea. Any new courses in mind? I'm not sure course-wise. I'll have to chat to you guys. So I've got like, obviously the phrasal verb course that I'm working on, and I want to finish that off in the next few weeks or months. We'll see. We've gotten through, I think, about 14 different components of the different particles that go with phrasal verbs in the Effortless Phrasal Verb course. So if you want to check that out, I'm sure you've seen them all the videos and the podcast episodes. But if you want to sign up to the course, you can do so. But I would love to do some more on slang, Aussie slang. And I was thinking that I could potentially create a course where, and I'm just thinking of this now, where I have mini stories that I can read, where I can teach you the Aussie slang, and then I could potentially get other Australians to read the same material for you so that you have the option of choosing different voices with different accents so that you can get an idea of, I guess, so that you can improve your listening comprehension at the same time as learning Aussie slang. So we'll see. But I know that some of you need business English, and you're learning expressions, phrasal verbs, obviously. There's endless opportunities, and IELTS. I just have to knuckle down. It's another good expression for you. To knuckle down is to like work hard and get some of this stuff done. So how did you meet? All right. So this is a funny story. Aiken wants to know how I met my girlfriend. So she was actually a follower of Aussie English and sent me a message on, I think she messaged me on YouTube just saying hello and that she was from Brazil. And as you guys probably know, I'm learning Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese. And this was maybe, 6 months ago. And at the time I was really studying and I needed someone to talk to practice with. So I just said to her, if you need help with English, I'm happy chatting on Facebook or whatever, Instagram or something to practice my written Portuguese. And that was it. It just went from there. So we hit it off, to get along well. So we hit it off and she happened to be coming down to Melbourne, I think maybe a month after we first sort of met online. And so she came down for a week and we just spent the entire week together, except she was seeing a friend as well. So we hung out for that week. That was amazing. She went back to Queensland, back to Townsville. And within 3 days, I'd bought her another ticket to come back down to Melbourne 2 months later. So she had to finish work and she only finished it. What would it have been? What's the date today? Is today the 4th? Yeah, 4 days ago she came back down. So she's meeting my parents, she's meeting my sister and my brother-in-law. She's met all my friends from high school down in Ocean Grove. So it's been good fun and I think she's having fun. She was pretty nervous at first, I think, meeting all of my family and friends, but it's going well. Yeah, good luck. Good luck, Tabo, going from Melbourne to Townsville in one day. It's 2,500 kilometers. I think that would be a long day and a very fast one. I think you'd have to drive for 100 Ks an hour for the entire time. So what else have we got here? Ruchi, what does embattled and ousted mean? Far out. So ousted, if you're ousted, to oust someone, I think that would mean to like throw someone out, to oust someone, to throw someone out. And it's usually used for, say, political leaders or like kings and, you know, royalty maybe. So if you oust someone, it's that you take over power and they get thrown out. So if I ousted the Australian Prime Minister, he gets chucked out. He gets thrown out. I ousted him. Embattled, that's a difficult one because that's not a commonly used verb. So I think that's more of an adjective if you are embattled. To make ready for battle. So let's see. Let me look that up quickly. Embattled. Involved in or prepared for war, especially because one is surrounded by enemy forces. Okay, so if you're embattled, it means that you're getting ready for war and you're surrounded by enemies. And then obviously if the enemies come in, they can oust you from your position. So you're getting thrown out. And I think the verb to oust is probably related to the word out, I would imagine. So there's probably some lexical connection between to oust and the word out. So Nina, how are you, Nina? If you guys have questions, feel free to ask any questions you like. Make, how are you, mate? Pete, I love your pronunciation videos. Are you planning to expand a little in that direction? How about anything more about the differences between Australian and British English? Yeah, Michael, that's a good question. I wouldn't mind doing that in the future. Do you mean more entertainment videos, though, where I just discuss the differences with someone? Or do you mean to actually go in there and try and teach you how to pronounce words like someone from Britain or someone from Australia? Because there's definitely the potential to do both. It depends on the British accent. So Australia has a bit of variation with accents, but our variation tends to be socio-economic. So socio-economic means it's related to, let me see if I spelled that right. Socio-economic is like social / economical. So related to how much money you make or the social part of the society you're in. So people who are from the lower part of society, quote unquote, the lowest socio-economic people tend to have a stronger accent, whereas people that are really, really rich or posh will have a completely different accent. And then you have people in Australia who live in the country and they'll have a different kind of strong accent too, that's kind of closer to the lower socio-economic accent. And then in the cities, you'll have closer to the kind of educated, posh Australian accent. So that's Australia, but Britain has a lot of different accents. So, and that's like from town to town, they'll be totally different. And that's all, I think, geographic. So that's related to where you live in Britain. I think they do have a bit of structuring with regards to their socioeconomic status. So like the Queen has an incredibly posh British accent, and someone who was homeless in London would probably have a very, very different accent. But yeah, there is a big, big, big difference between a lot of places in England. And then compared to Australia, there are a lot of differences as well. Although we all speak the same language, but the pronunciation changes quite a bit depending on where you are and where you grew up, what kind of childhood you had, and if your parents were rich or not, that kind of thing. So it is definitely interesting. What about you guys? Are you finding Australian accents hard to understand? Are they difficult, or did you get your head around those accents pretty quickly? And to get your head around something is to understand or learn something. That's a good expression for you guys. So, thank you. So, talking more about the general Southern Eastern British accent and general Aussie accent, the differences like the schwa sound at the ends of words. Yeah, exactly. So, for instance, I think words like water, better, what else we got? Polar. That's how I would say them. Water, better, Peter, polar. I use the sound, but in Britain, at least in southeastern Britain, they would say water, better, Peter, and polar. So they would say the schwa sound, as you say. They would say the sound instead of an sound. So it is interesting how that stuff evolves. But what about you guys, where you're from? Are there dialects in the country that you live in with the language you speak? And are they difficult to understand for you guys, for foreigners as well? People who are learning your language, do they have a lot of difficulty with the different dialects and accents that people have in your home countries? Let me know in a comment. Put a comment below. I'd love to know. I've talked with Australians, Americans, Scottish, Scotsmen. So Australians, Americans, Scotsmen, and Welshmen. So that's the, I don't even know what that word is. Scotsmen and Welshmen. That's the plural for people from Scotland and people from Wales. Representatives, and all of them have different accents. Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. Did you find any of them particularly difficult to understand? Whether the Scottish accents can be very difficult, even for Australians, like and other Brits, I would imagine would find the Scottish accent and the Welsh accent too pretty difficult to understand. So yeah, Ruchi reckons that there are lots of different dialects. Obviously in India, Puja. So yeah, I'm from Mauritius and our language is French, but academic is English. So I have lots of difficulties getting the accent here and understanding Australian pronunciation plus the slang. I understand British English better. Yeah, that's it. It's difficult. And that's the thing. It's kind of layered. Like the first thing is understanding English, which is obviously something you guys can all do. But then on top of that, you have pronunciation differences in different countries, which can be a headache. And that drives me nuts. In Portuguese and French at times, I'll be speaking French with people from northern France mainly, and I can understand them really well. And someone will say exactly the same thing, and they'll be from the south or they'll be from Quebec, and I'll have no idea what they were saying, and it drives me nuts. I'll be like, "Argh!" But yeah, it is funny. British English, at least southeastern British English, is pretty easy to understand. I think they just articulate and pronounce words very clearly. So Michael says he spent 4 years in the UK at Cambridge, where many people have incredibly posh accents. Yeah, exactly. So Cambridge is a university in the UK that is very, very well known and difficult to get into. So I would imagine most people who get into Cambridge would be posh, rich kids. So they would all have pretty posh accents. And I must say, I personally love the laid-back Aussie accent. That also comes together with a different attitude to life. So your mother tongue is Polish. So can I say in Polish, jak się masz? Is that what you can say for like hello, jak się masz? You'll have to let me know. I think that's Polish. I might be getting that wrong. So each region of Brazil has a different accent. So I reckon it would be hard to understand Portuguese depending where you land. That's it, Mara. So, for instance, eu posso falar pouco de português do São Paulo. So I can speak a bit of like São Paulo accent, Portuguese. But my girlfriend, Raquel, she's from the north, from São Luís. And so she speaks a bit more like, what would she say? Like esta. She says the esh instead of esta. And so I have to get used to that. And I think she uses tu a lot. So there are differences. But it's funny. I can understand pretty well when she speaks slowly. But all my other friends are from Sao Paulo and they speak in a way that I get. But as soon as she speaks quickly, I'm just like, no idea. Fala certinho. Thank you. I spoke well. So we have different regions in Azerbaijan as well with accents that are different. That's crazy. Michael says, so Yakshimas is Polish. Cool. I got that. I got that from Borat, who was always saying it in his TV show and movies and pretending that it was Kazakhstani. Yakshimas. So do you speak French as well? I want to hear you pronounce it if you wouldn't mind. So what do you want me to say in French? Je peux parler un peu de français, mais c'est le français de Paris, en France. J'ai appris à l'école, so I can speak a bit of French. I learnt the Parisian French because my teachers were from Paris in the north of France, and I learnt it at high school. But it's been a while since I've spoken, so I'm probably a bit rusty. But yeah, I love languages. I love learning languages, especially French and Portuguese at the moment. But the next one, I think the next one is going to be either Spanish, although I think that's going to screw my mind up because it's too similar to Portuguese and French, or I think I might learn Icelandic. So Icelandic is a very rare language, but it is so, so beautiful. Like, I think I can remember one of the phrases, Góðan daginn, which is like, Góðan daginn means good day, and ég er að læra íslensku, which means I'm learning Icelandic. So Icelandic's a really nice language that I would love to learn just because it's beautiful. Portuguese is good. Oh, thank you, Tatiana. I know, I absolutely love Portuguese. It's a beautiful language. And Isabel, so wow, you're from France as well. Rocio, Spanish, all Latin American countries have different accents. Yeah, that's crazy. I know you guys in South America are like, you know, it's weird that you guys have dialects within countries, and then between countries you've got even bigger differences. And I've heard that the slang is the worst part about Spanish in South America, because you guys have so much different slang between all these different countries. So that's crazy. Thibaut, merci beaucoup. So you know the Portuguese from São Luís is considered the best spoken? I'm from Sao Paulo. Is it really? São Luís, huh? I didn't know that. Thank you, Isabel. Spanish. So I can say a few things in Spanish, but they're pretty dirty. So what else? I can say like, no puedo hablar español. Muy bien. So that's about it at the moment. But I'm speaking Portuguese. Yo quiero en el futuro. Yeah, exactly. I want to in the future. At the beginning, what does Kaiki say here? At the beginning, I have to confess that I wanted to get a British-like accent, but now I like the educated Australian accent like yours. Well, I wouldn't say it's educated. It's a nice accent, but I'm still working on my education. It's relaxed and well-spoken. That's it. I think you'll find that it's probably the most common Australian accent. Mine might be the higher end of the general accent, because I have to, speak clearly all the time during lessons and with people from other countries. But you'll meet a lot of people in Australia, and this accent should be the most common one, although they might push their words together and make it a little more difficult for you to understand than I do. I know French is amazing, Spanish is amazing. So what's especially in the Gold Coast, the Australian accent's very strong. I've heard Kel keeps telling me about, my girlfriend from Townsville, keeps telling me about Townsville people there have like the worst accent to try and understand. So she's been here in Australia for 2 years and didn't speak any English before she came to Australia, and said that Townsville was a nightmare for learning English, at least at the start. It was very difficult, but now having done that, she can understand very, very, very strong accents. So if you go for Spanish, you'll have a lot of followers to practice with. I know that I think the majority of you guys would either be from Brazil or from South America. I reckon that those would be the two. Spanish and Portuguese are probably the majority of the followers of Aussie English, which is interesting. So what else? I'm French, but boyfriend of my daughter is Aussie from Brisbane, but for me it's very difficult to understand him. You might just have to tell him to slow down, Please slow down. Irina, she's native speaker from Russia. That's awesome. The English accent's awful, Thibaut. Not a fan. That's crazy. But yeah, what about you guys? So let me know in a comment if you guys weren't learning English if you had to pick another language to learn, obviously you speak your native language, you've learned English. What would be the third language, at least out of those three? What would be the next one that you would pick up, that you would want to learn, and why? So let me know in a comment. I would love to know, what are you guys thinking of with regards to learning another language? Is it something that you would like to do, or is English so sort of difficult that it has put you off wanting to learn another language? Like, I know English, at least learning English, is a bit of a pain in the butt because you kind of don't get it as a choice. You know, everyone speaks English, so you kind of have to learn it. So I know how you feel. So Eliana would learn French. So why is that, Eliana? Why would you learn French? Rocio would learn Esperanto. That's a good one. Esperanto is pretty good. I learned a little bit of that on my phone here on Duolingo. So definitely recommend using the app if you want to learn Esperanto. And you can learn really quickly to understand and speak it, like within 3 months, because the grammar's perfect. Because it's a made-up language, there's no rules or like exceptions, to the rules. All the rules are absolute, and so it's very easy to learn. It's pretty interesting. It sounds like Italian and Spanish. So Akan would learn Spanish. So why is that, mate? You're from Azerbaijan, right? So you speak Azerbaijani, I take it? What would make you choose Spanish? Marcia would learn French. Karina would learn French. The accent is pretty cool. It's difficult. It took me a long time to get the the R. And I think French was difficult because they have nasal vowels like Portuguese. So Portuguese has nasal vowels like ing, ang. That was difficult for me as an English speaker. And then French had nasal vowels like like and I think. Those three are the ones that got me. Like bon, bon. Yeah, they killed me. But they're interesting languages. So Tatiane, I've been working in the store in Brisbane, and now I can understand because I have practiced listening to all the stories. Yeah, that's it. It just takes time. It comes though, it comes. So Mara, my fifth language. Whoa, Jesus, 5. What are the other 4? Obviously English is one of those. So your fifth language would be Japanese. That's a difficult one. Japanese, I've heard, is very, very hard, at least for European language speakers to learn. I've heard that it's really difficult. And why? What would make you choose Japanese? My sister's boyfriend's learning it, and he says it's really difficult, but he likes anime and video games, and I think that's the main reason for why he wants to learn it. So Tatiana would say, I'd love to learn French or Italian because I love the sounds and I speak a little Spanish. That's awesome. Lima, I prefer to learn Portuguese because I watch Portuguese shows. Which Portuguese shows do you watch? You should give me some suggestions. So Michael says, apart from Polish and English, German, Russian, Italian, Hebrew, and French. In that order, huh? All got quite rusty though. Wow, that's insane. I would love to learn Arabic. So I've heard Arabic is difficult too. Out of all those languages, I think it's the most different, the most, divergent out of all of those. That's crazy though. So Sergio, Spanish is the second language most spoken in the world after Chinese. That's it. And then English is English third, I think? It's like getting pushed more and more down, at least native speakers, right? Native speakers. Eliana, I think French sounds beautiful. It isn't a deep reason, just emotional reason. That's it. And it's the same for English, right? You guys have to have some kind of reason that resonates with you as to keep you motivated and keep you learning. You know, it's difficult, and it's the same for me learning French. I did at high school, and I just liked the sound of it. I also learnt Chinese, but that was really difficult. And then I did Portuguese because I was doing jiu-jitsu, and I had, all of a sudden, after I was doing that, I had 10 friends who were from Brazil. And so I was like, well, why aren't I learning Portuguese? So that's definitely right. You have to find some kind of reason to stay motivated and keep learning the language you're learning. So Ruchi would learn German. Why is that, Ruchi? And I know Ruchi already speaks French too. We both listen to Français Authentique, a podcast that's like Aussie English. So if you guys are learning French and you want a podcast similar to Aussie English, I thoroughly recommend that you check out Français Authentique. And I'll write that down for you. In fact, I'll see if I can tag it. Authentique. Maybe not. All right, but that's it. Check it out if you're learning French. He's awesome. So, Michael, English pronunciation is the toughest of them all. Really? I didn't ever... How do you guys think of English pronunciation? Is English pronunciation difficult from your native language? And what words do you find, or what sounds do you find the most difficult to pronounce in English based on the differences between English and your native language? Because this is the kind of stuff that I could do episodes on in the future. So if you guys have some suggestions, put that in a comment below and let me know which are the most difficult sounds. Give me some word examples if you want of words in English to pronounce, okay? I would love to know what they are. So what else? Tatiana says, yes, like mother in Portuguese, mamãe. Yeah, the nasal sound. I know. The nasal sound, the vowels kill me. They kill me. And it was weird. I think one of them was, in Portuguese, you would say no for no. And it's spelled N-A-O. And I remember trying to say now. And my Brazilian jiu-jitsu instructor was always laughing at me. And he was like, it's no. You got to keep it no. And it took me so long. I had to sit there in front of a mirror and have something playing these nasal vowels like no, now, no, until I, repeat. And eventually I got it. And I still find it difficult. So pronunciation-wise in English, guys, just keep repeating all the time. It takes a very, very long time. Saeed, Arabic, because my country is the Middle East. That's awesome, mate. So you speak Arabic or you want to learn Arabic? That's really cool. I speak Azeri. Okay. Sorry, Akan. Azeri as a native. Russian as a native. That's crazy. Is Azeri close to Russian as well as a language? Are those two languages close? I don't honestly know that much about Azeri, but I know Russian is a Indo-European language, so it's closer to, say, English than Arabic. So I've been learning Spanish from 2004 until 2005 and learned it well because after English it's easier to learn. Yeah, that's it. But then I interrupted learning it due to circumstances. I can imagine, but that'll be the good thing for any of you guys who've learnt English and who don't already speak French or Spanish or Italian or German. If you suddenly go and learn those languages, you'll notice a lot of cognates. So words that mean the same thing or look the same, come from the same place in both of those languages. And I've noticed that a lot in Portuguese and French. But sometimes there's the false friends where you have a word that doesn't mean what it means in one language used in the other language. I think one example recently was ridículo in Portuguese. So I say all the time that things are ridiculous when they're like just crazy, out of control. Like this weather's ridiculous. Like, well, it's just crazy. And if I try and say that in Portuguese, I don't know. I can't even think about it. But if I said ridículo, it means like it's a negative thing. You would never say that for just like, oh, that thing is crazy. So it is funny how there are those false friends. So Waleska speaks French and I would like to learn Spanish and Japanese. That's awesome. Definitely recommend learning Spanish. I think Spanish is a very cool language. Japanese would be difficult. I would love to learn it, but it would be difficult. Tatiana, I have difficulties in pronouncing pearl, girl, and world. Especially pearl in English. I think the trick with those ones is to try to ignore the R, okay? So pearl, girl, and world, I just go straight from the vowel sound to the L, okay? So I ignore the R. The R there is telling me the vowel sound is long, okay? So it's pearl, girl, world. They're long sounds. So that's the trick. Those words are difficult because the spelling is ridiculous. When is it going to be hot finally in Melbourne, says Evgenia. Good question. It was 36 degrees 4 days ago, and then the next day it was 16 degrees. So go figure. It just changed overnight. So hopefully I should have a look on the weather. Let me have a gander. Let me have a squiz. Let me have a look. Yeah, look at that. This is the weather for the next week, guys. How boring is that? Just 18, 19, 22, 17, 19, 20, 22, 23, 23. It's all really cold. I think after this sort of period of cold weather, it'll go back up and then it'll probably stay hot for summer. So fingers crossed. So Tatiana, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is really good. I've done it once, but I prefer Aikido. Yeah, Aikido's pretty cool. Eliana says the sh, ch, thr, and th sounds in English are difficult. They are. That th sound and thr is very difficult. Flavia says defo, as in definitely the th sound is the most difficult. Bruno says the th sound as well. English is tough because the letter combinations are and pronunciation, are pronounced differently in different words. I know. Sorry about that, guys. I guess a cool thing, a reason for that, English makes no sense because we've been invaded periodically by different groups of people, at least in England. So I think first we had the Scandinavians, so people from Denmark came across and invaded multiple times and brought their language with them, which would have been Old Norse, and that mixed. And so we have words like, let me think, for example, night, as in with the K, knikt. It would be in Danish, I assume, knikt. And like knife, knifi, with the K in the front. What, who, where, why, all of those are originally from Scandinavian languages. I think in in Icelandic, for example, you would say hver instead of where and kvath instead of what. So they're all related, but that's how we got those words. And then we had the French invade or become the royalty in England after I think the year 1000. And so all the royalty spoke French, and the people at the bottom, all the civilians or the, I guess the main citizens and everything spoke English. And so that's why French has trickled down so much into English that we have, I think 70% of common English that's used has roots in French. So any word that ends with tion, like diction, it's all French. Airy, dictionary is French. Momentary, all of that is French. So a lot of French is coming to English. And that's the main reason our spelling sucks. Our spelling sucks because no one went through in the past and made it all consistent. They didn't go through and say, we're just going to make all of it sound as it's spelt. They just left it as it was. So any new words kept the old spelling from their original language. So that's why English is a real pain in the butt. Azeri is close to Turkish. Okay, Akan. Azeri is close to Turkish. I've got a Turkish housemate, and I know that Turkish is a difficult language too. So the ED sounds difficult. I know that one. So it's called Bem-vindos by Rice. Is that the TV show? I'll have to look at that. Okay. I'll check it out, Lima. Thanks for the suggestion. The trickiest part of English is that the unpronounced letters are in too many words, and it's hard for a Spanish speaker to get the regular sounds of these vowels. Yeah, that's definitely true. That's definitely true. I think one of those examples was like, English is tricky, but it can be understood through tough, thorough thought, though. And in each one of those cases, you've got O-U-G-H, and it's pronounced differently. So I know it's a total nightmare. Wow, Lima speaks Swahili, Somali, Arabic, and English. That's insane. So Lima, did you learn Swahili, Somali, and Arabic in your home country originally, or did you pick some of those languages up later? Did you learn them later in life? Because I know some of those are really difficult as well. They're very, very different from English. So Saeed, I want to learn Arabic. My language is Persian. Okay, so you're from Iran. That's awesome, mate. I've got a lot of Iranian students. Waleska says that the TH is the most difficult as well as the T. So Waleska, what's your native language? I'd love to know, and why you find the T difficult. Do you not have the T kind of sound in your native language? Let me know. Lala's here. How are you, Lala? Megan, how are you going? Yana says, hi, Pete. What does to be stuffed around mean? Can you please give an example of using this expression? Sure. So, trying to find a prop. So imagine that. Let me see. Actually, I think I found it. All right. Here's a good example. So imagine you've got, this is a beanie. So this goes obviously on my head. If I put something in the beanie, like say, a towel, I'm stuffing it in the beanie. So this is to stuff. You're putting it in there. So I could stuff my head in the beanie. So that's what the verb to stuff means. It means to do this action, to put something in kind of forcefully. If you stuff someone and then around would be like the idea of no particular direction, it means to sort of, how would you explain, to stuff around, to waste someone's time. So it's kind of like, it's a figurative one. It doesn't literally mean to do this action and then move it around, but it would be like to, I'm going to define it with a synonym, but to screw someone around, you could say to fuck someone around. It's to waste their time. So if, for example, I was on Tinder, so I'm on a dating app, and someone was sending me a message saying, I'd love to go out on a date. Can we organize a date next week? If I said, sure, what time, and then organized it, and then the time came and I sent them a message and said, oh, actually, sorry, can't. Next week, that's me stuffing them around. So I'm wasting their time. I'm doing it potentially in a nasty way, so I'm not being respectful of that person, okay? So to stuff someone around is to sort of waste their time and I guess not be open and honest about what you want, okay, from that person. Doesn't have to be relationship-wise, could be anything. Maybe I'm trying to sell a car. If I tried to sell the car and I said it was $10,000, someone said, I'll pay for it, and then I said it's $10,500. And then they said, well, what? And then said, okay. And then I said, no, just kidding. Now it's 10,000. That's wasting their time and it's stuffing them around. So the weather's awesome. You're loving it, are you, Lima? Karen, what does Karen say? For you, as an English speaker, what is the most difficult English accent to understand? For me, the Scottish and the Irish accent. That's it, Karen. I think for me, the most difficult accent to understand would be probably one of those British accents. So Scottish, maybe one of the Irish accents, especially when they speak quickly and use a lot of slang. So I will see if I can find you. I'll find you guys one beautiful example of the Scottish accent that blew my mind, where I was like, I have no idea what they were saying. And I'll send you guys the link to check this out. So this guy is just a Scottish dude and he's on the roof. And when I heard this, I had no idea what he was saying. And so I had to read the subtitles. But yeah, the Scottish accent is evil. Next week, it's going to be 30 in Brisbane. Oof, lucky you. I hope it comes down here. So Lale, age, ending words too, right? Yep. All of the words ending in age are from French as well. Like mirage, I imagine that's a French origin. What else we got? I learned originally from my home country. That's awesome, Lima. That's crazy that you guys spoke 3 languages there. Juliana, hi Pete. What wedding it up means? What does wedding it up means? Wedding it up. Wedding it up. I'm not sure. That would depend on the context, but I would imagine if someone told me they were doing something it up like that, it would mean that was going to happen. So if we were going to go beach it up, it's like we're going to the beach. If we were going to go surf it up, we're going to go surf, and that's what we're going to do. So if we were going to go drive it up outside, it's just to go and drive. So when someone makes a sentence like that, something it up, and they use a noun that they've just turned into a verb, like a wedding, we're going to wedding it up. It just means that we're going to do that thing. So that is a kind of informal way of using English. People might say that we're going to party it up. We're going to go party. We're going to go coffee it up. We're going to go have a coffee. We're going to go coffee it up. We might TV it up in a bit. We're going to go watch TV. Okay. So yeah, that's a weird one I'd never thought of. Good question. Good question. So Waleska's from the south of Brazil, Florianopolis. That's awesome. Nuno, Bem-vindos a Baiaras is a TV show from Portugal. Oh, awesome. In case you go looking for it, I'll have to learn the Portuguese, not Brazilian Portuguese. Eshan, hi Pete. The hardest part in English that I'm struggling with is verbs like get and take. I know. I think it might not actually be those verbs in and of themselves. It'll be the fact that those verbs are used as phrasal verbs, right? So you won't be having trouble getting the idea of get and getting the idea of take. You know, both of those effectively mean to receive something or to say get somewhere. You know, you arrive at that place, you move to that place. It'll be the fact that they are associated with different particles like get up, get down, get off, take up, take down, take off, and understanding those. So Eshan, if you haven't already, make sure you listen to the podcast phrasal verb episodes and check out the ones, check out all of them because they'll all probably have get and take in them. So Ruchi wants to know piss take. Piss take. What does piss take mean? That actually goes with the podcast episode that I released yesterday, to take the piss. So if you guys haven't seen it already, to take the piss, it means to be joking with someone, okay? So to be shocked by something, you might say, are you taking the piss? Are you joking? Like, what? Are you taking the piss? So to take the piss into a noun, though, instead of an expression, we can say that something is a piss take, okay? So if I made a joke, I'm taking the piss, I'm making a joke, I could say that the joke is just a piss take. So I've just turned the expression into a noun by saying it's a piss take, putting it together as a single word. So don't panic, mate. I'm just taking the piss. The joke was just a piss take. It was just a piss take. So you might hear that from time to time, although it might not be that common. But yeah, quite often those kinds of difficult words that are a bit weird and strange have those kinds of origins where they've come from an expression or something that's been turned into a noun. And it's not something that has been done, in an organized fashion. It would have been that it's just the average person started saying that and it became popular. So Karen says the same. Get, take, and have are really difficult verbs to understand. I know. Those ones, and again, I think it's mainly that when you use them as phrasal verbs, they become difficult. And the meaning of the verb itself can quite often switch. Have is pretty difficult too, I know, because they can be used quite often as I think they're called dialectical verbs, where you say, I have a shower, I have a pause, I have a break. To learn those guys, I would just do Google searches. I would just search, how to use get in English or get grammar English, take grammar English, and search on Google to see if you can find nice example sentences. And then I would probably write them out, conjugate through them, practice them, use them when you speak. So, keep a list. It could be on your phone. You could write it down on some paper, just some phrasal verbs with get, take, and have, and make sure you're using them, guys. That's the biggest thing for learning new vocab. You have to use it. It's use it or lose it, okay? If you don't use the new stuff that you've learnt, you'll forget it. So keep using all that new stuff. So Esan asks, how about phrases like get damaged, get fixed, and their differences with be damaged or be fixed? That's it. I guess in that case, get means for the thing to happen, okay? Whereas be is that it is. That is its state of being. So like if my phone is on, like it's on now, it is on. That's its current state. Whereas if it gets turned on, that would be me, say, for example, to turn it on like that. The screen comes on. It gets on, I guess. So it's that the state has changed. So that's what we would use there, I think, with get. The main differences would be that it's a difficult one. Just practice, mate, and you'll get that idea eventually in your mind. But Yeah. Do you guys have any other questions? Anything else that you would like me to chat about? Or I might finish up there. And I'll turn this into a podcast episode for you guys. I hope you don't mind. Do you guys enjoy these live lessons like this with me talking about lots and lots of different things as podcast episodes? Or is it annoying to have these as podcast episodes when you can't see anything that I'm doing, etc.? So definitely let me know if you don't like it. If it's all good, don't worry. I'll keep doing it. But if it's annoying, definitely let me know. But yeah. Other than that, guys, all right, I might finish up if you have no more questions. Remember, if you want to sign up for the Aussie English Classroom, guys, you can do so. It's only $1. You can give it a go. It's $1 for a month, I should say. $1 for your first 30 days. And everyone seems to be really enjoying it. I would really recommend getting in there and at least giving it a go if you want to, take your Australian English to the next level. So I'll chuck that link in here for you. Just click there, sign up, give it a try. If you're having trouble with phrasal verbs as well, guys, make sure that you come to my phrasal verb classes when they're on, not like today. And also, obviously, sign up to the phrasal verb course, which is only $97 at the moment, guys. It's slowly building, but the whole point of the course is to give you a series of lectures, sort of like this, where the video is set up in the corner and you can see images of the different phrasal verbs, how they're used, definitions, and you just learn through exposure again and again and again. So you can sign up to that course to learn phrasal verbs. If for whatever reason you can't do that, definitely get on YouTube, get on Facebook, get on the podcast and listen to the free components, the free parts of that course, guys, because I want you guys to kick phrasal verbs in the butt. Okay? Anyway, it's good to see all you guys. Isabel, thank you for coming. Tatiana, thank you so much. To Bo. Abdel Kabir, thank you, mate. Waleska, Flavia, Rocio, and Michael. It's been great seeing all of you guys. Thank you so much, and I will see you next Monday. And if you're in the Aussie English Classroom, I'll chat to you during the week. So keep at it, guys, and I'll see you soon. Peace out.